Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, as always, to the Institute. Thank you, Joanne, for sponsoring this session in memory of your beloved husband, Andy. May his soul rest in peace, and may it be a great merit to his memory that we are gathered here together today in meditation. So I want to invite you just to take a moment to soften your gaze. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open or anywhere in between, and just to take a couple of deep breaths as we transition into this now, this moment. Just allow your body to find, and your breath to find, a couple of subtle and sweet breaths, inhalation, exhalation. Feel yourself held by the earth. Feel yourself being blanketed by the ethers. And feel yourself being fueled by that eternal flame from within. Our breath is proof of our aliveness. It is proof of both our being and our human. We're here to practice our wholeness, our truth, our curiosity, our unknowns, our spirit, our humanity, our embodiment. And just by being here together, it's as if we are sending a message to the universe and to one another that we're here to do things mindfully, in connection with others, in a spirit of collective healing. Take a moment to feel, even if only energetically, all those who are gathered now in this field of practice, or who will join us later in this extended field of practice. And thank yourself for showing up to you. Thank each other for showing up and holding space for one another. And if there's a special intention that's on your heart, a special prayer that's speaking to you in this moment, take just a beat to notice and listen what it is. It's likely that that is a key to your purpose here and now, or a key to your healing in this moment. So feel free to open your eyes if you close them. As we continue. So this week, we open a new book. We open the book of Deuteronomy, of Devarim. And as the Parsha opens, we are reminded that the journey from Horev, which is just another name for Mount Sinai, to Kadesh Barnea, which sort of was an encampment, a city which signals a gateway into the promised land, that journey from Sinai essentially to the gateway into the land of Israel was essentially an 11-day journey. Of course, we know that it took our people 40 years. And so I'm really thinking about how many of us have also required 40 years at least to learn something, to arrive at some version of our own promised land. I know I have. And for some of you who have participated in sessions that I've led in the past, I've been very open about some aspects of my journey. And I can say with pride that it's taken just about 40 years for me to truly love this body that I'm in. And while I resonate very deeply with this idea of journeying towards the promised land and keeping my eyes on the prize and embodying a growth mindset, the pursuit of worthy goals, right? It's so much a part of who we are as a Jewish people. I think that we have the possibility or the tendency for that destination or the pursuit of our goals to become actually an idol of sorts. When we affix our vision so strongly to some external destination or achievement, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that we are okay right here, right now, and that we can find happiness here. We can experience our wholeness here. And that we don't have to have arrived, so to speak, to feel peace, to feel God's presence. And I think our mindfulness meditation practice can offer us a kind of countermeasure, like a corrective to that getting to the promised land orientation. And for me, it's not so much that I stop walking, although resting is a very important part of the journey, or that I cease my efforts at trying to arrive somewhere important, but rather that I sort of shift my focus as I walk so that I can place my attention more on finding a steadiness and ease with my steps here and now, rather than just sort of obsessing over the final destination. And of course, meditation is an incredibly helpful tool for helping bring our attention to what is here and now, rather than that, whatever that final point of arrival might be. So instead of it, when are we going to get there? It's more of what's here, what's right here. And even more, this week's portion teaches such a beautiful teaching that I really never noticed before, that God scouts the land at each campsite, preparing it for us. Like I could sort of imagine Kivyachol, that the Holy One like sets up our camp so that when we arrive at each stop, we're ready. It's ready for us. It rises up to meet us so that we can stop and integrate and reorganize and learn and do whatever we need to do to move on to the next leg of the journey. So again, a set of assuming that God is going to be in that sort of final location, we open up to the possibility that God can be found at each pause along the way, that God is already here. So Adi, I'm going to ask you to pull up the text. Beautiful. All right, hopefully folks can see that. So just to review really what I've shared in the opening verses of the Torah portion, it is 11 days from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea by the Mount Seir route. It was in the 40th year on the first day of the 11th month that Moshe addressed the Israelites in accordance with the instructions that Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh had given him for them. And then this beautiful teaching about how God scouts out each stop in preparation for us. None other than the Lord your God, who goes before you, will fight for you, just as he did for you in Egypt before your very eyes in the wilderness, where you saw how the Lord your God carried you as a man carries his son, all the way that you traveled until you came to this place. God goes before you on your journeys to scout the place where you are to encamp, in fire by night and in cloud by day, in order to guide you on the route you are to follow. And Sforno, a medieval Italian commentator, has a beautiful sort of gloss on this idea. Sforno adds that God is scouting out places for us to rest, and all of this is a demonstration of God's loving care for you. So I want to take this this intention, this context. Thanks, Adi. You can close up the text for now. With us into our practice. This idea that that there is much peace and beauty and happiness and joy and learning and wholeness to be found at every step along the way. And that God has prepared this step for us, this stopping point, this camp, for our out of love, for our learning, for our growth, for our well-being, for our peace. So once again, we settle into our bodies. Let's find our beginning. So allow yourself to find a good seat. And allow your breath to find a steady rhythm. Allow your mind permission to slow the pace of thinking. And your mouth permission to cease speaking. Your only purpose in this moment is to allow yourself to be right here. To notice what is arising in this moment. In the body. In the breath. In the heart. In the energetic body. What feels true right now? What do you notice? Just notice what you notice. In the breath, in the heart, in the body, in the mind. And for the remainder of our practice, I invite you to notice where steadiness is arising. And unlike balance, which can be very elusive, where can you cultivate or notice steadiness? Steadiness in the body, steadiness in the breath, steadiness in the heart. And if that steadiness feels hard to find, no problem. You can anchor your breath in the words, Hineni, here I am. Toda, thank you. Breathing in, Hineni, here I am. Breathing out, Toda, thank you. So we'll take the next 8 or 9 minutes in shared silence, and I'll bring us back together with the sound of my voice. May our sitting and breathing together this day be in service of not only our own well-being, but of a higher good, a higher healing, a higher purpose. May we continue to sense the gift of this very moment right here in this place, even as each one of us endeavors towards our own individual and our collective promised land. I wanted to close with a poem. This poem from Hafiz. I do not want to step so quickly over a beautiful line in God's palm as I move through the earth's marketplace today. I do not want to touch any object in this world without my eyes testifying to the truth that everything is my beloved. Something has happened to my understanding of existence that now makes my heart always full of wonder and kindness. I do not want to step so quickly over this sacred place on God's body that is right beneath your own foot as I dance with precious life today. Thank you all for your sweet attention and presence for me, not only today, but in all the days that I have the gift of being with you and practicing with you. Thank you for being there for one another. And thank you, Jonathan and IJS, for holding us all.
And then that's
Jonathan, you're muted. Jonathan, you're muted.
and in the same vein then, Jenny, we will hold Joanne Fink in our hearts and memory of her husband, Alan Tratner, as we turn now to recite Kaddish. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbi, Yamad Yivrach, Yirtei, Yamlich Malchutei,
Vayachon,
Hayed
Hayed
Chol
Yisrael, Agalav
Agalav
V'Imru,
Amen.
Hey Shmei Rabba L'Orach, Rach Shabbat V'Kar V'Tramah, Adar V'Taleh V'Talal, Shmei V'Kudisha, Elam V'Kol Birchata V'Shirata, V'Chata V'Nechmata, V'Amad, Ishlama Rabba Min Shemaya, Chaim
Aleinu Yal Kol Yisrael, Yal Kol Yoshrei Tevel, V'Imru.
Amen.
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 Thank you.
Sorry, Jonathan, you're muted again.
Where did that happen? Thank you, Adi. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for sharing this time. And Jenny, perhaps if you're willing to stay for another few minutes, we can take some questions from the folks who've gathered here today for meditation around your teaching and around our practice.
I am here. Happy to stick around.
If you want to raise your hand,